My girlfriend told her friends to cheat on their boyfriends, then acted shocked when I left her. I never thought a group chat could destroy a 4-year relationship. But honestly, that's exactly what happened. And the craziest part is that my ex-girlfriend still insists I overreacted. At the time all of this happened, I was 27. My girlfriend Emily was 26. We'd been together for almost 4 years and lived together for a little over 1. From the outside, our relationship probably looked stable. We rarely fought, shared expenses, had mutual friends, talked about marriage occasionally. Honestly, I genuinely thought I'd eventually spend my life with her. That's what makes everything harder to process even now. Because the breakup didn't happen over cheating. Not technically. It happened because I accidentally discovered who she really was when she thought nobody important was watching. And once you see that side of someone, you can't unsee it. It all started because Emily left her laptop open one night while she showered. Now, before people start screaming about privacy, I wasn't snooping intentionally. I was literally trying to order food because my phone was dead and her laptop was already open on the kitchen counter. That's it. But then a message notification popped up in the corner of the screen. And unfortunately, I saw my own name. Specifically, Rachel needs to stop feeling guilty. Jake is never gonna find out, LOL. Men only notice cheating when women act emotional. I froze immediately. At first I honestly thought maybe I misunderstood the context. Then another message appeared. This one from Emily. She needs to stop confessing everything to him. Guilt ruins good cheating. I physically felt my stomach drop. Because suddenly I realized this wasn't random gossip. My girlfriend was actively coaching her friends on how to cheat successfully. And not casually either. Detailed advice. Manipulative advice. I know I probably should have closed the laptop immediately. But honestly, curiosity mixed with horror is a dangerous thing. So I kept reading. And what I found genuinely changed how I saw Emily forever. The group chat was basically a private strategy forum about lying to boyfriends. I'm not exaggerating. They discussed deleting messages, hiding locations, manipulating suspicion, using mental health excuses to disappear for weekends, making men feel insecure if they asked questions. And Emily was the most active person there. At one point, one of her friends admitted she felt terrible for cheating on her fiancé. Emily responded, "If you actually loved him, you wouldn't ruin his life by confessing. Some truths are selfish." That sentence made me physically sick. Because suddenly I realized Emily viewed deception as emotional maturity. Then I saw the message that completely shattered me. One of the girls asked, "Have you ever cheated on Ryan?" Ryan was me. Emily responded, "Not technically, but honestly if I ever did, he'd probably never know." Not technically. That phrase replayed in my head for weeks afterward. Because what the hell does not technically even mean? Emotional cheating? Kissing? Dating apps? Micro-cheating? My brain instantly started re-evaluating our entire relationship. Then another message appeared. "I swear loyal men are the easiest to manipulate because they never expect betrayal." And the others reacted with laughing emojis, including Emily. That moment changed something inside me permanently. Because suddenly I wasn't reading messages from someone I loved. I was reading messages from someone who fundamentally did not respect people emotionally, especially men who trusted her. I closed the laptop before she came back from the shower. And honestly, I barely slept that night. I kept staring at the ceiling, replaying everything I'd read over and over again. Part of me desperately wanted to rationalize it. Maybe it was just toxic joking. Maybe she didn't mean it seriously. Maybe group chats make people act exaggerated. But another part of me understood something terrifying. The real version of people usually appears when they think there are no consequences. The next morning, I confronted her calmly. At first, Emily immediately became defensive. "What were you doing on my laptop?" That alone already told me everything. No confusión. No concern. No embarrassment. Just anger that I saw it. I asked her directly, "Why are you teaching your friends how to cheat?" And honestly, Her response stunned me. She rolled her eyes and said, "Oh my God, it's just girl talk. Girl talk. Apparently manipulating men emotionally is just harmless entertainment now." I asked her what she meant by "not technically," and suddenly she got angry, like genuinely angry. She accused me of violating her privacy, being insecure, taking jokes too seriously. At one point, she literally said, "You're acting like I murdered someone." That sentence emotionally disconnected me instantly, because the issue wasn't even the messages anymore. It was the complete absence of accountability. Then came the part that truly ended the relationship for me. I asked her, "If your friends cheated on their partners, would you actually tell those men the truth?" She answered immediately, "Absolutely not. No hesitation. No guilt. Just certainty." Then she added, "It's not my responsibility to destroy relationships." That's when I realized something horrifying. Emily genuinely believed protecting cheaters was morally kinder than protecting people being betrayed. That mindset terrified me, because it meant loyalty only mattered when convenient. The argument escalated for hours. Eventually, she started crying and saying I was judging her unfairly. And honestly, part of me almost gave in. For years is a long time. When you love someone deeply, your brain fights incredibly hard against accepting ugly truths about them. But then I remembered something my father once told me. Pay attention to how people behave when honesty costs them something. That sentence kept echoing in my head. Because Emily wasn't defending honesty. She was defending comfort, control, convenience. And suddenly I realized something painful. I would never fully trust her again, even if she never physically cheated. The mindset itself destroyed emotional safety. A few days later, I ended the relationship. And honestly, Emily reacted like I'd lost my mind. She genuinely could not understand why I was leaving. According to her, she never cheated. The messages were exaggerated. Everyone jokes like that privately. I was too sensitive. But honestly, that's exactly what scared me most. The normalization, the casual cruelty, the idea that betraying someone emotionally is funny as long as you don't get caught. I moved out 2 weeks later, and that's when the real chaos started. Because apparently Emily immediately told her entire friend group I dumped her over private jokes. Suddenly, mutual friends started contacting me saying I was overreacting. Some people even accused me of being controlling. But here's the interesting part. Not a single person who defended Emily actually read the messages. Once a few screenshots quietly circulated, people started changing their opinions fast, especially the boyfriends. Turns out several of the women in that group chat really were cheating. One engagement ended completely. Another couple broke up temporarily. One guy apparently discovered months of lies after checking hotel receipts. And suddenly Emily's harmless girl talk didn't seem so harmless anymore. That's when she completely spiraled emotionally, because for the first time, consequences became real. She started calling me nonstop, crying, begging, blaming me for destroying multiple relationships, which honestly blew my mind, because apparently exposing manipulation is worse than the manipulation itself. At one point, she screamed at me over the phone, "You ruined people's lives over private conversations." And I finally snapped back. No, they ruined their own lives. I just stopped protecting them. That was the last real conversation we ever had. Update 1. It's been about 4 months since the breakup. Honestly, life has been weirdly peaceful. Painful sometimes, lonely sometimes, but peaceful. I didn't realize how emotionally exhausting constant low-level distrust had become until it disappeared. And apparently a lot more happened after I left than I originally knew. One of Emily's former friends, Rachel, actually contacted me recently. Apparently the group completely imploded after the screenshots spread. Multiple friendships ended. Several women blamed Emily for encouraging reckless behavior. One fiancé called off his wedding entirely. And according to Rachel, Emily became obsessed with convincing everyone I manipulated the situation maliciously. But then Rachel admitted something that genuinely shocked me. Emily actually had cheated on me once, about a year earlier. Apparently she kissed a coworker during a work trip and rationalized it as not technically cheating. The exact phrase from the group chat. Reading that message honestly hurt less than I expected. Not because it wasn't painful, but because emotionally I think part of me already knew. Deep down. Because people who normalize deception eventually participate in it themselves. That's almost inevitable. The craziest part? Rachel apologized to me. A genuine apology. She admitted the entire group became addicted to validating each other's worst behavior instead of holding each other accountable. And honestly, that conversation taught me something important. Sometimes toxic people don't realize how toxic they've become until everything collapses. Update 2. A year has passed now. And honestly, leaving Emily was one of the healthiest decisions I've ever made. Not because she was some evil mastermind, but because trust matters more than chemistry, more than history, more than attraction, more than comfort. Without trust, relationships slowly become emotional prisons. Ironically, Emily contacted me again last week. Apparently, she recently found out a new boyfriend cheated on her repeatedly. And according to mutual friends, she completely fell apart emotionally afterward. Part of me genuinely felt sad hearing that. Not because I wanted her back, just because life has a strange way of forcing people to experience the pain they once minimized in others. She sent me a long message apologizing for everything. Not just the cheating culture stuff, the disrespect, the manipulation, the mocking comments. And honestly, for the first time, the apology sounded real. Not defensive, not angry, not self-protective, just honest. I forgave her. But forgiveness and reconciliation are not the same thing. Because some relationships end long before the breakup actually happens. Sometimes they end the moment you realize the person beside you no longer values honesty the same way you do. And honestly, once respect disappears, love eventually follows it out the door too.